We're going to use 2 lights to light the background, and we're going to shoot with a flood of a light from this softbox. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the softbox light against Darlene, and we're going to let her stay in her clothes because she doesn't need to be nude for these test shots and things, and it's a little cold in here, so you have to keep that in mind as the model's comfort as well. So between shots, Darlene actually brings some clothes, and she doesn't walk around naked all the time. Darlene does wear clothes, and she's wearing some right now. So we're going to have Darlene come out this way, and you're going to step right here. Still gorgeous. All right, you're going to turn a little bit this way, and I'm going to use this light. And when you use a light like this, you want to get as close as well. When I use a light like this, I want to get as close as possible. When you use it, you can do whatever you want to do, all right? But this is the technique that I'm showing you, and the reason that we're going to get close with this light is when I bring the light up close to Darlene, all I need is to be out of my frame. Now this is a big softbox, and I want it to be nice and close because when it fires the light, the closer it is, the faster the fall off of the light is. So the further away you get, and there's a mathematical equation, the double the distance away, so the proper exposure is here, double the distance is quadruple the power loss. But I know that the light's going to fall off of her. It's going to go from light to dark very quickly, and you'll notice it in the pictures. Her shoulder will be bright, this other shoulder will be less bright. It's not going to be completely dark, but it's going to be less bright. And that just adds a dimension to the picture. So that'll add a different dimension is when the light's falling off really quickly. And you'll notice it, the pictures look better. If I take this light and I move it back here, and if I'm 6, 7 feet away, her shoulders are going to be the same, the exposure is going to be the same through and through. So with the light right here, I'm going to test my lights, and then I'm going to see that I'm going to get it properly exposed for her skin tones, and then we're going to shoot, and you'll see that fall off in the pictures. So I come over here and I flick this bad boy on. Always helps. And I'm going to start off with a 1/4 power. So you can start off with whatever you want. But what we're going to do is we're going to bracket. So what I'm going to do, I'm not hoping to get a proper exposure right off the bat. In fact, even if I get something that looks good, I'm still going to go one way and I'm going to go the other. Meaning I'm going to add more light, I'm going to take away light. Because when your brain looks at a picture, it'll compensate for the things that are wrong with the picture, and then you'll assume that you have a good shot. But if you expose brighter, by 1, 2 stops, pump the power, and then drop the power way down. So here's your initial shot. Even if it looks good, you're going to overexpose by far, underexpose by far, and then bring it into where it actually looks best. And you'll find that it's not necessarily that first shot. So it's the Goldilocks technique, This one's too hot, this one's too cold, this one's just right. So you want to find what's just right. And sometimes to find what's just right, it takes you, experimenting with what's wrong. So that's what we're going to do right now. So let me just test this out, and we're going to get that proper exposure. So we're starting at f8, which is what we were shooting our last shots with. And so we're just going to see how it goes. So perfect. And this is an overexposed picture, and so it actually looks like a cool shot. But I think it's overexposed, so I'm going to way underexpose it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to close down this thing all the way to F14, which is 5 clicks. So we're at 8. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, which is a full stop, brings us to F11. We're going to go 4, 5, 6, bring us to 16. So we're going 2 stops under from where we were. Okay? And I'm going to take a picture, and I'm assuming it's going to be dark, but I don't care. I want to see it dark so that I can compare that to when I think I got it right, and know that I got it right when it comes time. So you get used to it, and it's worth it. This is the pre-shooting. Every time you reset up a light, you have to pre-shoot before you shoot. You have to get the lights right, pre-set them up, and say, hey, this is the new lighting setup. Here it is. This is the new lighting setup, the new position. I have to get this lighting down. Once it's down, then it's time to shoot. Take a little bit of time to get it right. If you're like, oh, I'm in a hurry, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Let's go on. You're going to be bummed out. So it actually does look pretty good. It doesn't look dark like I thought, so we're going to go even darker, okay? So we're going to go slam, slam, slam down to F22. And if you don't want to shoot at F22, for whatever reasons, my reasons would be I get dust problems on my sensor. So this is a 5D. This is before they had the automatic sensor cleaning. So I get dust problems, and even though I get it cleaned, it gets dirty again. And at this f-stop, I'll find those damn things, and it'll mess up, it'll look like a blemish on her skin. It's really a blemish on my machine. So what I'll do eventually is pump this down. So I'll do that probably right after I shoot this. So there are ways to make it darker. I could either, you know, like I said, I could bump this down, I could close it up, or I could bring down the light. So I'm going to bring down the light power so I could stay at about f11. I don't want to go 16, 20. So I'm going to bring this light down, and I know I can drop it. The power supply will drop 1/2, so I know I'm going to cut the light in half. So what was f16 will be f11. It's going to be the same exposure now because it's half the power of the light. Every time you drop a full stop, you're dropping half the amount of light that's getting into your camera. So whether you click 3 times on your shutter or 3 times on your aperture, it's changing the amount of light. That's a misnomer though, because if we change our shutter speed 3 stops, it's not going to affect this for nothing, because this flash is going to come and go no matter what our shutter speed is. It doesn't matter. It's gone before the shutter even has any effect. So when you're doing the studio lighting, you have to do either your aperture or the light's power if you're working with a flash. If you're working with constant light, your shutter takes some sort of precedence in there, okay? So here we go, here we go, here we go. Beautiful. Now the light it's not wrapping around her as much, so this is a big light source. So what I want to do is I want to move it this way. So Darlene's getting affected by this section, and all this section is going to be used to wrap around her. And I'm actually going to move the light, not her this time, because I want the light to be out here. I want her to stay where she is. So that's why I'm going to do that. And here I go, moving the light. And there we go, we're looking good. So now we're looking good, and we have to watch out that this isn't going to be in the picture. So we're going to do more of these kind of 3/4 shots, not so much a full body shot from here. And it looks beautiful. So I think it looks great, but I'm still going to adjust. I'm at 14 right now. I'm going to see if I can overexpose it by a stop. I'm going to keep it on real stop. So I'm going to go to f11. That looks nice too. And we're going to go all the way down to f8, which is a full stop. We're not messing with this rinky-dink bullshit third stops, all right? We're going full stops here. So we're going a full stop, and we got Darlene to smile with that. And that's too bright, as per my taste. So now I'm going to go a full stop back up to f11. And I really like it. And now I'm going to mess with the rinky-dink shit, all right? So I'm going to go to f13. I'm going 1/3 of a stop darker. So here we go. Ooh. And I'm going to go a third darker. And I know this is taking time, but it does, you know, and Adam explained it to you. It can go faster when you're not explaining to someone what you're doing, okay? So here we go. Bear with me. Because it's important! Oh. All right, so I look at those and I see that I like, I'm going to take it to f11. That's where I was. Let me see one more time. And now we got to have Darlene keep her mark. So it's a good idea for me to eye her mark. It's an even better idea for me to use tape. I'm going to mark the floor where Darlene is standing, where her toes are, the tip of her toes. And she's going to know when she comes back to put the tip of her toes right there. So everything else will line up unless her feet grow or something crazy. So we're just going to put this here. I swear I can get this. And it goes right there. And now Darlene can get dressed or undressed. So here we go.